What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with what says jokes, but isn't jokes. It's Sin. Sin doesn't
Yes,
know who he is,
I just corrected that.
but he is doing jokes' job today. So it's cool. You could have put jokes and Sin or Sin and jokes
Nah,
in the
nah,
box, and that would have been fine.
nah. This is perfectly fine.
All right.
Perfectly
I
fine.
mean, jokes will not be joining us today because our guy is super hard at work, getting all of the content, the panels, and so forth from StellarCon this past weekend, edited and all of that jazz. What's up, Doctor Who? Um, because we had a fantastic weekend in StellarCon and we got to get that content done. And so,
Facts.
also, my man was feeling a little under the weather, so send my
Little
man some well
cockroach.
wishes. Yeah, just told him, listen, don't worry about jumping in the show tonight. We'll take care of it. What's up, Zay? And you work on getting that content squared away. So we're gonna make it happen without him. Sin,
Yes,
can you do Joke's job, please? What's up, Heather?
I can take care of that.
Thanks, buddy. And you all know what that means. Okay. That Concord
Facts.
you know, it's a real thing. It does get folks.
Hey, mama.
What's up, Nana? Um, yeah, Beacons link is up. I probably should remove the option from Beacons to get tickets for Stellar Constance. That's over already. But hey, what's up, Andrew? It's been a while, man. Um, I'll get to that. I'll get to it. The important thing is, if you go to the Beacons link, while yes, I know you all know, most of you already follow us, so you know that's the easiest place to go to find all our links and follow us in all the places. However, I want to make sure that you're aware that our link for Extra Life is there.
Yes,
so whether you are interested in joining the team and playing video games on that same weekend to try to help us raise money, or you are interested in donating, you can go to our Beacons link. You can find our extra life link there, and you can donate now. You do not have to wait until game day. We want to get as much money in front of Sin as possible so my man can dye his hair purple and carve the Superman S in the side of his head. We missed out last year. I don't feel like we can do that again. Sin, you had some homework. You were supposed to be double checking for me the what the goals were that you had to hit in order to make that happen.
Last year it was 1,000. We didn't make it. I figured I'd put it back there and see if we can make it this time around.
1,000 for what though? For to get the Superman S?
Yes, the Superman S is 1,000. The die is at right below it at 900.
Oh, we about to get this. Yeah. Look, although I know y'all don't really want to see us suffer, it's for the kids. However, as an alternative, if Sin does not want to put the Superman S in his head, Zaina has offered him to do K-pop dances instead. And so I feel like he could pick the lesser of two evils, and he can decide which one he feels like is the lesser of two evils and just choose one.
Fair. Okay.
And that's interesting.
Okay.
Would you rather carve Superman's S into the side of your head for $1,000? Or would you rather dance the New Jeans Super Shy?
I'm definitely cutting that logo with my head. I'm definitely cutting that
what
logo.
Happened?
I'm cutting that logo with my head. That's what's happening.
Really?
Yes. Easy.
Why? Because you feel like you can hide it after the fact. Like you'd be like, I'll put a hat on and
little Scully, I'll be good to go. When I'm out in public,
there should be some rules around it. Like you gotta wear it out. Like you can't just get the joint done and then hide it the whole time. Like I feel like there should be rules. Like you're not allowed to wear a hat for like at least a week.
I mean, like what if it's like genuinely like cold outside? Like because I get up in the morning to go to work. Like what if it's like 40, 30 degrees? I can't put on a hat. that's messed up.
Is it though?
Yes.
I mean, what's the point otherwise? Please do that dancing. What'd you say? It's rude. I would rather have. See, there it is. Come on, Sid.
Nah, Superman is getting shaved in the side of my head. That's what's happening.
Okay. Well, look,
I will wear no hat, hoodie down, the whole nine. Let everybody see it.
I'm with it. I mean,
I will debut it here on the show first, though. When I get it done, I won't let the public see it till y'all see it first.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I'm gonna try to have Jerry on that episode. You know, Superman, that's his guy.
Like,
especially if he donates to the cause. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call him as soon as the show over. So listen, I'm
gonna regret this.
Absolutely. But you do have your job to do. Thanks for doing Joe's job. Thanks for letting us pick on you a little bit.
It's all good.
Please get your job done, sir.
So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Also now with Kevin, not Kevin, I just dropped his name for a second. Kermit Ferguson. Yes, Kermit Ferguson.
Cool. I know you tried to do it off of memory, and I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean? Like you knock it out the park, it's cool.
It's a new addition. It's a new addition. It's gonna take a second. But Kermit Ferguson, thank you for joining. And thank you all for being our top tier patrons.
Absolutely. We greatly appreciate all of you. Take a picture and pin it to both accounts for an entire year.
That's more money that's got to be donated.
What's both accounts? Facebook and Instagram? Would those be the two accounts you'd be talking about?
Probably.
Because that would be, Because you could donate to me and I could take his image and pin it to my joint. Oh, dance for your top tier patrons. I like it. You know what I mean? Shake something, sir.
Y'all are funny. Y'all got jokes. I like it.
Oh, man. Loading snacks and his personal IG. I mean, listen, for the right amount of money, I can make the Lotus Snacks joint happen. I'm just saying. I can.
The views on Edge on AW, I don't care. Just to be like, it doesn't mean what it means to everybody else. I've been out of it so long, it doesn't mean the same to me. So I called it that Saturday when we were at Saucy Fest. Second jokes was like, oh yeah, Darby and Christian's the main event. I said, that makes no sense unless Edge is coming back. And he started thinking about it and got all excited. I was like, like, okay, I know y'all are happy about it. Cool, I'm happy for them, but yes, okay, Edge's on the.
I mean, I'm happy for Edge.
Yeah, like that's fine.
Like it's the significance of Edge's career is one that I think is overshadowed, and like look, I don't really care much about like I can't do the day to day because it's every day watching wrestling or whatever, right? But I pay attention to a lot of what's going on, and Edge. Was a staple for a long time. You know what I mean? Edge and Christian were a staple anyway. And I have a say what happened?
No, I said one of the top tag teams of all time.
Sure.
Edge and Christian.
You know what I mean? Sure. And so I think it's it was an interesting move considering where he was with the WWE and how much time he spent there. And what that really means to me is that from a business standpoint and or from a personal standpoint, it didn't make sense for him to continue to be there. And he saw something of value in moving to AEW.
Yeah, I just think he wants to end his career with his best friend, Christian. So they want to end it together. So, all right, cool. He's there now. They can make that happen. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good look. Does it move the needle? I don't know about that, but
right. See how would you do?
I think there's a lot of people who still want to see him do his thing, You know what I mean? So he literally has one of the greatest comeback stories of all time.
Oh yes, yes.
So
After that neck injury,
you
yeah.
know, can't really take
Mm.
that from him. So, um, Sin,
Yeah.
new PS5 got announced today.
I saw that.
PS5
Yes.
Slim got announced today.
Yes, it did.
Did you get a chance to look at it?
In passing, I was working a
Okay,
little bit
just
today.
kind
Yeah,
of.
so I saw it in passing. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, they pretty much look like the same thing, but
Yeah, it doesn't look slimmer there, but okay.
they are. They're definitely a little slimmer. I think the most interesting thing is this. The well, let's look at this. So they're doing a disc version and a digital version again,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But just like the rumors have been saying, the digital version, there is an additional HD Blu-ray drive, 4K Blu-ray drive that you can purchase to go onto it if you decide down the road you want to be able to do physical media,
Mm-hmm.
whether that is for 4K movies or if you want to actually be able to purchase um, game discs. So I think that's interesting. But I do want to do a rundown of some of the specifics and get your thoughts in. Is that cool?
Yeah, let's do it.
So they have not given a specific release date, but they did say available this November in the US.
Okay.
So
Right before Christmas.
that to me, it means before Black Friday. That's what
Yeah.
that's what that means to me. Um, it'll be interesting to see what they really do. Um, if this drops, depending on how soon, but it's likely that this will drop before Black Friday and that we could see a sale on the old model for Black Friday, but not on this model for
Right.
Black Friday. Um, who's that? Alfonso? What's up,
Yep.
Alfonso? Um,
Yep.
I imagine that because they specifically said in the PlayStation blog that once they sell through the current model that's out, it's gone, and this is what's going to replace it. So I can imagine that they'll be looking to
Yeah.
get rid of the old ones.
So
The
Black
other thing
Friday
that's
sale makes
interesting about
sense.
that, yeah, and why I think that could be a thing, and that is probably part of the strategy, is that oddly, and well, hold on, we're gonna get to price in a second. So they have reduced the volume of the original PlayStation 5 by 30%. I'm not getting into like it's about an inch and a half shorter. The original PlayStation 5 is like 15 and a half inches tall, and this is like 14 inches tall.
Oh, okay.
Um, it does seem like they're gearing this more towards you laying it down and it being horizontal instead of vertical, which I think is interesting. It does come with a stand for keeping it up horizontally,
Yeah.
which is again kind of weird. But because of the shape, it doesn't like lay flat. It's like it doesn't really have a bottom to it, so it has a stand that it comes with so that you can lay it horizontally. They are selling a new vertical stand separately for like $30, and the new vertical stand will work with the old models or the new models,
Okay.
which is again odd. Um, the new units are going to have a 1 terabyte SSD, so that's a bit of an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
The disc model will be $500, just like the current disc model is. So same price, but more space.
Right.
And we'll have to see what that really works out to, because Sony's weird about the way that is. Instead of it being a full terabyte, it's probably, I think if I
Be
recall
like
correctly,
840 or
the original
something.
PS5 was like 840 gigs or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, or 870 gigs instead of being a full terabyte. So they had used a lot of that space. The digital, so no disk drive, is $450. Now, Sin, the current digital PlayStation 5 is $400. The
Okay.
Slim version is $50 more.
Okay.
So it's a price hike, which I think is a little weird. You remove the disc. You did update the hard drive,
Right. Is that where the 50
but you're
comes from?
charging $50 more for this than you are for the old one, which to me says either they really want to get rid of the old stock, right? So to me, now there's a value associated with that unit. If you're gonna go non-disc anyway, you just buy the $400 one. Why would you buy?
The one
I
for
wouldn't buy
50.
the Slim. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't spend another 50. That's almost a game. It's not a game, but it's almost a game.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that's a little weird. Why do you think the slimmer model without the drive? And actually, before you answer that, let me tell you how much the drive is going to cost. Because the
Okay.
drive by itself is $80 US. So if you buy the PS5 Digital Slim
Right.
and you buy the drive, it would cost you $30 more to do that than it does to buy the PS5, the Slim, the
With
new Slim
new
with
Slim
the
with
drive.
the yeah. Yeah, that's
I'm gonna let you
that's
work the math out.
no, that's where PlayStation is doing something. I mean, we're back to who knows what they're thinking right now. So I think though I think they're trying to get rid of old ones. That's the $50 price difference. I mean, they stated it in the bulletin. I think that's where their aim is this holiday, getting as many of the old stock out so they can roll out these new ones with the $50 price hike and that nice $500 price tag because the older stock is going to go down Black Friday. I do agree with that. I think that's the
Yeah,
plan.
I mean, realistically, unless you know already, right? Like if you're, I don't know, a parent who's gonna try to buy a PS5 this holiday, you know what I mean, as a gift or whatever, they don't know the difference between the Slim and not the Slim. You know what I mean? I could certainly see them being like, how come this one's only 400 and this one is 450?
Would they say Slim on the box? I wonder.
Probably. But they may not do that because it's not. I mean, it's replacing the original one, so it's just gonna be the PS5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I mean, all right, look, if you look at their marketing, it just says PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, and
Yeah.
it looks exactly like the marketing from the original one. So
Yeah.
like, I don't think they're really necessarily looking to call out that it's the Slim model, so to speak. I think they're just
So you can
putting
just
out
phase the old
this
ones
unit.
out and let these ones slide right in. Yeah.
Right. So no, you know what I mean. So I do think that for advertising purposes, obviously that'll be up to retailers. But if you happen to have the original Slims at $400 versus $450 or $500 for the others, you know what I mean. I can see we don't have a lot of details about the additional drive, and so I can see that the additional drive is a little more expensive. But it would seem to me, looking at the picture for the way that it attaches, that it is still driven and powered internally. It's not like you need something extra
To plug it. Yeah.
for it to work. So that's interesting. The other thing is they did say that there will be console covers for these that will be available
Okay.
in early 2024. So for $55, they're gonna have a matte black, a volcanic red, a cobalt blue, and a sterling silver cover that are gonna be available. How does that affect if you decide to get this unit and get the additional drive in case you want to use that drive? The fact that you're basically taking the drive and then making it look just like the
Yeah.
model on the left. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just The PlayStation 5 is ugly, dog. Let me just.
It
The
looks like an
PS5 is ugly.
alien tower from some sci-fi film.
It's ugly, and the Slim is ugly, and they didn't fix it by making it slim. It's still ugly. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they was like, man, if you look at the Slim PlayStation 5, right? They was like, why does that joint have a BBL? How come it looks like somebody's trying to sneak a kid into a movie theater under a trench coat? Like, why does that joint look like that? That joint's ugly, dog.
It is. It is.
It's
When
ugly.
you just sitting on the side like that, it is. Oh.
They also did not say whether or not consumers will be able to open their PlayStation 5s and add additional memory to this unit like they could the original PS5s. So that'll be interesting to see. I'd imagine that within the next couple of weeks, they're going to start sending units out to places like Digital Foundry or something like that for people to do teardowns and that kind of a thing. But it'll be very interesting to see whether or not that's something that they maintain, because if now you're no longer able to add additional storage like you could with the old one, that's also a reason for people to flock to the old one. If
I'm about to say, that'll make people second guess about it. Yeah, well, nah, I can't replace my hard drive in this one, but the old one I can. Let me go get another one of those. Like,
exactly, right? Yeah. So that certainly could cause people to go out and get the old one, or make a really good reason for people to choose the old one if in fact you can't update it. And it's possible, right, that part of them being able to slim it down as much as they have is maybe they took out the extra ports for you to be able to add additional memory. You basically just had SSD slots that were in there that were empty. You could add 2. So maybe that's gone, and that's part of how they were able to slim it down. So they just said, well, we'll just add more memory in and give you. The truth of the matter is, most people never do that. Most people do not open their PlayStation 5 and add memory. That's just not a thing. I think most people do.
Yeah,
but I think that
people like
the ability to do it is important and correct. And I think that given the size of most games now, especially going into an all digital model, that's a more important thing. If you're not, they either need to offer a separate storage solution in an external drive being able to be connected and use, and that for it to still work, or that means they have to come up with something like what Xbox did, where it's like, yes, it costs more money, but you can add this one piece that basically works exactly the same way the internal drive does, because the SSD is the thing that they're saying makes it so you can game in ways you never could before, right? So it'll be interesting to see. This is, for all intents and purposes, an upgrade. But a lot of times when something like this happens, it is in fact in some ways a downgrade. If you went to the PS2, the fat versus the slim you couldn't add the hard drive to. You couldn't, you know what I mean? Like, there was stuff like that you just couldn't rock with. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Now, on that note, before we move on and talk about StellarCon and how our weekend was, last week after the show ended, PlayStation made the announcement that Jim Ryan is retiring from PlayStation at the beginning of next year. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Okay. I'm not a Jim Ryan fan. Let me just make that very clear. In terms of his personality and his front-facing, the way that PlayStation had been for years, in his era, they have done extremely well. So I don't have anything against his business tactics, skills, or savvy. And they've done that. But in terms of a person with some personality and being kind of front-facing, that just kind of doesn't exist and didn't exist at all under him. Even people who are still at PlayStation that were there before he took over, who are still there, like Shuhei Yoshida and people like that, just kind of got forced to step back, right? And PlayStation kind of grew this disembodied voice that just was like the voiceover when they do their like
State of plays.
non-conferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think it's interesting that he is leaving mid-generation. I don't know, but what do you attribute it to? Do you think there's something going on that we're not aware of, not seeing? Do you think that in some way his inability to actually prevent Microsoft from making this Activision purchase is like, all right, did what I could, I'm out? Do you think somebody at the top was like, you should have kept that from happening, or your emails got out where you was like, we're not even worried about it, or you know what I mean, or whatever? Like, do you think there's something else to this?
I think it'd be a little bit of everything, honestly. Just the way things been going with PlayStation and seemingly, even though they are in the lead, but with Microsoft and with what they're doing, you know what I mean? Like they're coming up in areas that they've been looking ahead of for years, and now they're trying to catch up with the whole streaming and all that kind of stuff. Just maybe with that and the the Blizzard Activision stuff, maybe just a long time like storm coming of just they got piled on, and maybe somebody said something to him, or maybe he's just looking at the future, what's going on. Like, let me get out while I still can, while I can save face, type of deal. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, part of his reasoning is that he lives in Europe, and it's been really tough on him to run a company, even though it's a Japanese company. PlayStation moved all their business to here, so they run their business from the U.S., and it's been really tough on him trying to run it and maintain it so far away from home and stuff like that, right? And he wants to get back to that, and that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he has kids or whatever, but he's away from his family, and he's saying he I think that he has done enough and done well enough for Sony and for PlayStation. He's been at Sony for a long time, that he just is like, I'm out. But my question now is, what do you think the future of the leadership of PlayStation looks like in Jim Ryan's absence? Excuse me. Does it go back to being something that's a bit more like what Microsoft has with Xbox and Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, and it's very front-facing people? Does it go back to the days of Gio Corsi and Kaz Hirai and you know what I mean, like Shuhei and that, or is it going to be more of the same and they just bring somebody else in who is a business person to kind of just take over that wing? Like, what do you think it ends up looking like?
They need to look at what their peers are doing and look at what they're doing right. I will say with I think being front facing is the best way to go for Sony, because a lot of times we have questions as to what's going on when they make weird decisions, with stuff like this. So I think having a team of people that you could trust, that the public can trust, to have those front-facing individuals, I think will help them out a whole lot as far as being trustworthy and get us back in the trust. Like we've seen, like the documents of them when to charge people more than other people to have, stuff on their platform. And it's just all the negative press out there about them. I think you need to get people in front of it that can speak to us to give us some sort of comfort when we see these things happening with Sony. I think that's the way they need to go with it going forward. I think it'll help.
Do you think that's what they're going to do? Because again, what they're doing is working.
I think pulling back the curtain a little will help. Will help a little bit more. Keep them. So I'm going to say yes, because I'm hoping that's what they would do. So I'm saying yes, that's the direction they'll go.
Dig it. I guess we'll see. Let's talk Stelicon this weekend. Oh my God. I'd be great at running PlayStation. I'll run that thing right into the ground. Hate that thing. Nah,
say that.
Man, the first thing I'd do if they let me run PlayStation was put Game Pass on that thing. Straight up. Not even joking. I let them put Game Pass on it and take their percentage of that. Like for what? Why not? I'm just saying.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
not a bad
I
move.
mean, you let Ubisoft do it, and you letting EA do it. And remember that they didn't want to let EA do it originally. The EA joint was only on Xbox originally.
Yeah. And finally, yeah, they convinced them
It
to
was
bring
like,
it over.
no, we're not doing it. They couldn't see how they could make money in it.
And once they
I'm
did,
just saying.
let them on over.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it could work.
I would call Phil Spencer. You know what? I wouldn't even call him. He would call me immediately. He would call me and be like, "Hey."
that's how the conversation would start.
That's
Hey.
exactly what Phil Spencer would say to me. And then he would be like, "I see your gamer score is really high, like really, really high." You know what I'm saying? Like I just, and I just
Well,
be
yes,
like,
it
"Yeah,
is,
let's
Phil.
do it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. What we doing?
Sign the
We
papers
putting
right
Halo
now.
on PlayStation. Let's make it happen. I want all the games. Am I gonna put PlayStation exclusive titles on Xbox? Nope. Am I gonna do day one in PlayStation Plus? Nope. But I will if they want to play Forza and they want to play it on the PlayStation. Yeah, why not? I will take 35% of every one of those $15 charges.
And
every single one.
And
And
to your
it
heart's
can only
content.
be ultimate. It can only be ultimate.
That's it.
Can't be Game Pass. Game Pass.
Top
Gotta be
tier.
Game Pass Ultimate.
That'd be
It's
top
gotta
tier.
be, you gotta be in Ultimate. You gotta be Xbox, PC, and PlayStation.
Yep.
You gotta be in Ultimate.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
Only way it
that's,
works.
you know what I mean? Let's get it. Let's get this money. Shake Phil Spencer's hand. Shake that joint till it fall off. Let's go. Let's get paid.
Shake it.
Let's go. Yeah. I just put my fist in the air for all gamers everywhere unite. Like, yeah, just, you know what I mean?
We win.
But if you want to play Ghost of Tsushima 2, you need PlayStation 6, buddy. Straight up. And/or PC. You know what I mean? And then eventually, I'll be like, Phil, I bet you want The Last of Us Part 4 on Game Pass. It's going to run you $16 million. Make it happen.
I might just drop the mic. 16 mil for Part 4 on Game Pass.
Did you see how much money they were talking about it being to get some of these games? It was like $5 million for $5 million to get Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't see that, but
oh yeah.
All right. So when does it come out? Is the question now.
It's $7 out. That's all.
Just throw it on Game Pass already. I need to be playing that.
All right, bro. I be all in Amazon business. Listen, we already run on Amazon Web Services. Just move the Luna titles over to PlayStation. Play all these joints here. I want Luna on PlayStation. Let's make it happen. I'm gonna add a Luna app to all Sony TVs. What?
You just go down a rabbit hole.
Be on it, bro.
All the stuff I would do to them.
I'll be on it. Call up Phil Harrison. Bring back Stadia. We're gonna put that thing on PlayStation.
Nah, we good. Nah, you going too far now. Bring back Stadia.
No. Straight up. Yeah, man. Sam, let's talk about StellarCon, bro. I'm gonna let you have first dibs, bro. Just sure. Give me the rundown of the weekend, what it was like, how you felt, what your thoughts are, and so forth.
This was my first StellarCon. I missed the last two. But this one being 2 days, I was excited. Nice little drive to get there. Some farmland and such. But it was cool. Once we got there, got everything set up. We were running the stage the whole time. Yes, we were ripping and running around the gymnasium, all up and down everywhere. But overall, I had a great time. Met a lot of new people. Great conversations, just great time, a lot of fun. Even despite all the chaos that was, going on left and right. But overall, I had a really good time. Yeah, both days. Yeah, had a fun time. Whether we were on the stage or walking around trying to put out a fire someplace, just having a good time. The panels were dope. The Smash Brothers competition was dope. I was glad people were actually like cheering and yelling, and getting excited about that.
It was bananas, bro.
Yeah, that was kind of
so
cool.
amped.
And having it on the big screen like that, nice clear screen. Oh, that was just, yeah, it was kind of awesome. It was kind of awesome. But no, I had a really good time in my first StellarCon. Yeah, straight up.
I dig it. Yeah, look, StellarCon is it's a good time. It like all the Transcendent events. It's very family oriented. The people who come, you see a lot of familiar faces who attend their other events like Saucy Fest the week before, or come to Potter Party or Nerd Prom or Nerdpocalypse or any number of other events. But then it's also really great to just always see new faces, and there were a lot, and I mean a lot of new faces this go round. They tend to try to make sure that the vendors who are there one year are different from the vendors that are there the following year, just to kind of keep it different and make sure you don't see the same things all the time. This year, the last couple of ones, they've had a mermaid show with a full tank on the outside and stuff like that. This one, they got rid of that and did like a full car show out there. And we're talking like the A-Team van and the DeLorean, Knight Rider, Mr. Universe van, Harley Quinn vehicle. Like it was just like the car from it used to be your favorite
Baby
show,
from Supernatural.
Supernatural, yeah, like
Baby.
Just all of that, outside, and we got rained out, for a while on Saturday.
Yeah,
rain was coming down kind of hard, but when the sun came out, the sun came all the way out. Like it got like
for real.
It was almost like an apology from the sky. Like, sorry about that, y'all. You know what I mean? Like,
I got y'all for the rest of the day. Y'all good. Y'all good.
Yeah,
y'all good.
Yeah, don't even worry about
Sun's
it.
Sun's
Great vendors, great guests this year.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a moment to just shout out a few folks, like the StellarCon staff, which a lot of people basically think we're a part of. Technically, we're not. But because people see us and we're like on the stage front and center the whole time, like we get a lot of that traffic, a lot of that, a lot of the questions, all of that is directed directly at us.
Yeah.
And it just the staff, the people, the volunteers, the people who are like running back and forth, taking care of the celebrities, driving people back and forth to hotels, taking them to get food, getting them to and from airports, dealing with tickets and issues and signups and all of that. Like there's a really, really great core team, but then the extended team, they're just really dope, really great people that take a lot of pride in doing what they do and doing it well, so that things run very smoothly on the outside of the curtain, regardless of how chaotic it may be or seem or feel behind the scenes. There are a lot of people who work to make that happen. So I want to give them a special shout out. Then I also want to make sure I shout out the staff at the arena, specifically John, our sound guy, and our video guy, because our sound guy John, we work Slim. like we put Slim
we did
work. It is not like doing sound or setting things up in a panel room like you might find at other conventions. You go to an awesome con or something like that, they're like these rooms off to the side, and there's separate audio, or there's small rooms, you can't have microphones, you don't really need them, stuff like that. all of this is happening on stage in front of a large seated crowd, and still while there are people trying to shop at vendors and so forth in the entire arena, it is not a simple thing. And you are attempting to adjust audio and do things on the fly with multiple microphones and so forth for both, for the arena and for the crowd and the audio that is running all the way to the back, and for the people who are just kind of up front. And it is a very difficult thing to try to make it so that if people are trying to shop, if vendors are trying to sell to someone, that the audio that's coming from the stage while you're having a panel and people are asking questions or responding to things, or for that matter, the entire crowd is singing a song like they did this year, isn't necessarily obtrusive to the people who are trying to make sales literally right behind where that's happening. That is not a simple thing to do. It is not easy. It is a lot of running back and forth and kind of fixing things. And I just want to say, like, he's been on it every year. This year was even more. And so I just want to make sure that I, take a moment. I did specifically go and talk to him, right? But being able to do those kinds of things on the fly, get the Smash Brothers stuff running from up top down to on the screen, making sure the audio is coming through the speakers, having a microphone for all the way upstairs and running, we ran those upstairs, but like, you know what I mean? Like, being able to do that stuff and, deal with the cosplay contest, kind of stand at the back to make sure you're getting good audio and adjust microphones as it's running back and forth and moving to people. It's a lot. It's daunting, and they handle it really well, and it was very well done. And so shout out to them. Now, this year was a lot more running and a little more hectic because traditionally the guests have been in the same room as everyone else. And this year the guests were like up the stairs and way down the hallway and around the corner and trying to run to get people and bring people back, and all that kind of stuff was like an exercise in and of itself, because it was exercise in and of itself. However, all the guests were really cool. We had great panels throughout the week. Shout out to Natasha, the Cannon Doll X, for helping host on stage, from the cosplay contest to the panels that she ran. I did speak to them directly afterwards, but just another thank you to Roger Bumpus, who is Squidward. We had a good time at his panel. An extremely special shout out to Dee Dee and Michaela and Estelle, the Crystal Gems. Their panel was incredible. They were so good to the people. A shout out to my niece Alexis, who was like interning for us. I put Slim to work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
ping pong.
Listen, ping pong. You are the ping pong ball. Here's a microphone. You got to bounce back and forth and get these questions from these people. There's a lot of running around and a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes and going to get people and printing things out and trying to, just trying to make sure that you have everything, in position and so forth. Shout out to TC Carson. We had a great fun panel on Sunday. Kevin Grievous, who again, Natasha did his panel, but he was really cool. He was just like, yo, I don't want to be up there in the other room. I'm trying to be down here where all the people at. Like, you know what I mean? You right, Candace. Your baby work. Yep. She ain't had no choice. It was work. It's some running. But you know what? Save Sin's feet a little bit, because otherwise he'd have been running.
Yep.
He was good with that.
I appreciated it in that moment.
He was really good with that. Look, shout out to Ghosty Muffin and Laney and John Scheibel and Anais, who are cosplay judges for the cosplay contest, for just helping and holding us down as far as that's concerned. They were great, all weekend long. And, just there's a lot of work that goes into it. There are a lot of things that you just don't know, that unknown unknowns. You just don't know until you get there. Something's happening. But overall, we had a really good time, and we got a lot of really great compliments from, people who were there to visit. We got a lot of great compliments from the guests, and the staff. So, we had a really good time. It's the first time it's been 2 days. That's a special exercise in and of itself. Shout out to Z Money on security. Yeah, like, look, it's not an easy feat to wrangle the cosplay line, especially when it's kids. And I had to do it by myself on Sunday because Alexis and Zaina were not there. It's not an easy thing to do. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So, again, we just shout out to Lindsay for running around, and like, listen, Lindsay has what we're gonna call a bad leg. She got a leg that's like a fully titanium leg, and she had to run upstairs and down a hallway to take a picture that Kevin Hawk, the owner, wanted of all the people on the crowd, and it's like the picture's probably not even good because it's off center, whatever.
Yeah,
and she was hurt. You know what I mean? But that's like, those are the things you do to try to get, to make sure you capture the moments and the people are happy and, whatever. Shout out to Jason and his wife at Aim Hit Go for running that tournament and keeping things popping, because they, you know what I mean? Like, people were up there playing arcade games and playing the video games and having a good time, and they ran that tournament. They had 3 really good winners. I think the first place winner had 0 losses, just in there busting them and smashing.
My man was cleaning them. He was cleaning them up.
out there making it happen.
Trying to tell him Team Roy was going to do it. I lost all the other ones, but I knew Team Roy had it.
You got that one, huh? Yeah. You got that one.
That was fun. Shouting back and forth, doing it with him. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, just keep your eyes open on our Instagram, our YouTube, and so forth, because we'll be getting those panels up. So that you all can see if you weren't there, or relive it if you were there. There were some really special moments there that I think, some very poignant moments. Shout out to Jesse T. Usher, who is, from around the way. Matter of fact, shout out to Jesse T. Owens. Shout out to Jesse T. Usher's grandmother, who I talked with for like 20 minutes. And she was like, well, I live up in Marlboro. And I was like, well, I live in Mitchellville. She was like, oh, yeah, you're right by me. I'm in Kettering. And I was like, I used to live in Kettering. And I went to Kettering Elementary. And she was like, oh, yeah. She was like, I drive a PG County school bus. And I was like, for real? You know what I mean? We rapped for like 20 minutes.
Awesome.
I know this school and this person and this thing. And, it just, again, like, to meet and talk to people, to connect and, kind of have those moments with people is a thing that, in all honesty, we thrive on as a group, as a company. And so anytime we get to do that live and direct with people is great. It's a thing that we try to strive for here in a virtual way. But the truth of the matter is, it's nothing like being in the space. And so I had a really good time. I put Sin to work. My man was moving on that ankle. You know what I mean? I had to move him.
Hey, it is what it is. I'll come home and ice it later. I had to get the job done.
That's it. Icy high, bro.
And
Ben
we did that.
You at that age now. That Ben Gay on that ankle, bro.
Hey, bro. Some Ben Gay, huh?
Can't deny it. Well, give us an Epsom salt, baby.
I got some too, bro.
Ooh, I know you do. You can go soak that thing.
Soak that thing.
Again, shout out to Jokes and the K. Jokes was only able to be there on Saturday. K was only able to be there Sunday. You know what I mean? Having the two of them be able to come in and get great video and shoot great pictures and just kind of capture again, a lot of the moments, you know, we got asked to try to capture as much as we could and to post as much as we could. That's really difficult to do when you're not just hosting on stage, but you're running the stage, right? And you're responsible for making sure that people get where they're supposed to be, and you know that things happen on time, and you don't really run over or whatever. You know, it's very difficult to do those things in tandem. So, you know, can't really shout out jokes without shouting out Tatiana, because we ain't no jokes without Tatiana.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it is.
Yep.
You know
that's it.
I mean, that's all there is to it.
Grocery stores and all.
Facts. But yeah, StellarCon was dope.
It was.
And I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to whatever the next transcendent thing is. Obviously, we have Extra Life coming up next, and then we have Ocean City.
Oh yeah,
Ocean City. That's gonna be nuts.
Excited for Extra Life.
Straight up. We still have some things we need to tighten up for that, but
still excited.
Go. All right, listen. One last thing I want to talk about before we shut it down. The word on the street as of today is that the entire DCEU is being recast. Andrew said, sounds like fun. It is cool when celebs don't have a wall and are open. I felt like that at Heroes and Villain Fan Fest. Yeah. I mean, again, they had a separate area for the celebs in previous years. They've just like literally like been in the room. Problem with that is that their lines are like
they get out of control
in the way of the vendors and like blocking exit doors and going up staircases, which is just like not fire code safe. So like you gotta you gotta find other ways to
try something different this year and just try them there, see what works, see what doesn't.
Sin recasting of the DCEU. Before I even talk about what they're saying they're doing, what do you imagine is what do you think that really means?
To completely separate it from all the crap they've been doing. I think that's why. Like this is a new direction. We don't want the same people playing the same actors. We want everyone to know this is a brand new beginning. Nothing carried over from the previous era. Nothing carried over. I think that's exactly what it means. So Aquaman 2, who cares now at this point? Like I watch it when it comes home, but like it doesn't matter to the scheme of things at this point anymore.
I mean, are there people specifically you would like to see take certain roles?
Current, like people who are in the DCEU, like current those actors, like Ben Affleck and Ezra, whatever, like those people.
Well, I mean, look, the rumors right now are still that Jason Momoa is in talks to take on Lobo.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Okay,
it's come on, we've said.
But I think he fits the bill.
Yeah, he's a perfect fit for it. Like it's right there. So yes, I'm all for that. Which means no more Aquaman. Cool. If we need Aquaman in James Gunn future, we can cast somebody else. It's fine. Completely separated from what came before.
Is there a person that you think would be the right person to be the new Wonder Woman?
Honestly, nobody comes off the top of my head when I think about that stuff anymore, because I've learned to. I mean, honestly, Feige has helped me trust in the process a lot more. When somebody, okay, cool, not going to pass judgment anymore. Let's just see the product and just go with it there. So the casting doesn't, as long as it's not too left field, you know what I mean, then it doesn't bother me. I have faith that, okay, y'all saw something when y'all did this. I'm going to keep that there until I see the product for myself. So it doesn't matter to me who plays it.
Do you think they like lean younger and cast like younger versions of your Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
I think younger. Well, depending on the way they're going, I think younger would be smarter. Just to if they're trying to stretch it out for years to come, that would be the smarter way to go. So it just depends on how they timeline wise, how they set up the story and when it starts. But younger, yeah.
All right, James Gunn has a tendency to work with the same actors and actresses. So let me ask you this.
Yes, his wife's gonna be in it somewhere.
Well, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
does he keep John Cena? And is he still playing Peacemaker?
That's interesting. I can actually, I can see it sticking around. Don't know how or why or how it fit in the James Gunn universe, but I can see it. It's John Cena, like the show did well. I can see it sticking around.
Is Amanda Waller being recast?
Oh, that would hurt. That would hurt. She's so good. But recast. Recast. Out with the old. Yes. Out with the old and with the new. You did a great job as Waller. Out with the old and with the new. Recast everybody.
Who is Dave Bautista playing? And if you say anything other than Bane, you're wrong. Because Dave Bautista as Bane would be right. He's old, but it would be right. And if listen, James Gunn and Bautista are like, I don't even know if you can separate them now. And if you were gonna cast Bautista to play anybody in the DCEU, who else besides Bane?
It's gotta be somebody else he can do besides Bane. I'm trying to think of who.
If Bautista plays Big Bang.
Yes, Heather, recast them all.
Yeah. I don't.
Yes.
Did you like Blue Beetle? What was that?
She is.
Definitely
she is.
I'll be honest. She's the one joint who I would be like, oh, you ain't going nowhere.
We'll keep you.
Who would be my glue? Like, for real, I would keep her. She would be the DCEU's Coulson for me. She'd be in everything. Even if it was small joints, she would be in every joint. She would be in the after credit stingers. She would be in every single joint. She would have her.
Is Peacemaker her guy? Is Peacemaker her guy? That would be funny.
She don't have no guy. She don't care about nobody. Anybody can get it. Everybody got a bomb in their neck. It's Amanda Waller. The only person that Amanda Waller is cool with / good to is Terry McGinnis. We ain't about to get no Batman Beyond.
Nah.
That's it. I put Bautista as Bane. Heard he's keeping Suicide Squad actors canon DC, which to me would make some sense from when he directed. Right. That again, that makes some sense. We could absolutely get a new Harley. We don't need her for Harley. She's Barbie now. We don't need her for Harley.
Yeah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but anybody can be Wonder Woman. And that's not true, but it's almost true. It's almost true.
Wipe the slate clean.
Mostly cookie cutter. But I like Gal Gadot because she wasn't American. I love that about this version of Wonder Woman. Because Wonder Woman is not from America. Like, listen, all that stars and stripes in the American, like, yo, just like Superman isn't like from, like, dude's an alien, like he's not from here. Yeah. They did that whole thing in the comics where he had to like denounce his, you know what I mean? Be like, declare himself an alien and like denounce his citizenship kind of thing. Like
the Red Sun run was like if he would have landed in Russia.
Oh yeah, which was kind of
Russian flag on, yeah.
Yeah, which again is just like, and I mean, I get it, sure, whatever. Like, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know where Themyscira is even supposed to be, but it ain't. It's more Greece than it is.
Yeah.
It ain't Hawaii, dog. Like it's not an island. Off I say like it's not how that works, bro. So I'm just saying, like, I like that. Like, I like that about her. I like that she had an accent. Like, I just feel like that's what Wonder Woman would really be, and technically, like, should really be. So that works for me. Like, I loved that. And I'd be perfectly happy if they just cast somebody I never heard of who was just some model who has some relatively decent acting chops. You know what I mean? Who, as long as they, I don't know, I hate DC's powers because they just do whatever with them joints. But
yeah,
you know, yeah, I definitely keep my Waller wouldn't be nowhere. That would be, she would be the crux. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Everything, bro. The entire new DCEU run, everything will be based on Cadmus. All of it. All of it. Amanda Waller and Cadmus. So much. That's it. Because that's the way you ground it and you humanize it. And you, like, they kind of tried to do that with, like, Man of Steel. They kind of tried to make it like you're able to identify with Superman because he's from this small town thing. Yeah, they've been saying Chris Pratt for Booster Gold. Nathan Fillion is Hal Jordan, as cool as it would be. He's too old.
Yeah, now.
He just is. He's too old. I like him as the voice, and they could keep doing that for animation, but he's too old to play the role now. I don't really care how old Booster Gold is, though. Like that, that just works for me. And James Gunn, I think, likes, again, more of the kind of off-brand. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw like a Hawk and Dove and, you know, some of that stuff. And again, I do think that's kind of part of what should be important about doing this, is that, like, stay away from trying to do the super duper big name ones and make some of the other people who aren't your big names do what the Avengers were, again, C tier, D tier, and now they're at the top because the X-Men was always a thing. And when they didn't have control of X-Men, they had to find a way to make the Avengers work. And I think that's the thing that, like, you know, they need to steer clear of in terms of, like, Justice League. Like, you got to build up to that. You got to get to that point. And it, like, whether you decide that there's this thing happening and Cadmus is doing whatever, and there's all these other individual incidents that eventually are like, they have to come together for some reason, I'd be with it.
This makes me want to watch Young Justice so bad. I'm not gonna lie right now.
It's the best thing they always do. It's the best, and you're so far behind, bro.
Like, yeah, I'm super far behind. I've only seen the first 2 series. I'm thinking about, like, just the very beginning with them down in Cadmus, dealing with that just from the opening mission.
Bro,
I'm like,
finding Superboy, bro, down in the dog. Like, they put their foot in that joint, bro. Like, I just, you know, I just. Here's the thing. I don't trust James Gunn at all. I have nil faith in James Gunn's ability to take what the DCEU is and make it something that is great. However, yes, eh? Hey, Sin, you won't know what that is until you get to, like, deep into, like, the 3rd season, bro. Like, oh man, but if you just that statement alone, you got a baby in there, bruh. You'll know when you get it, and as soon as you get it, you're gonna text me. As soon as you get it, you're gonna text me immediately.
So that Steven Universe, I need to finish ASAP.
Oh, bruh. I don't know how. I mean, Steven Universe is a slightly easier watch because it's just them 11-minute chunks. Young Justice is heavy.
I remember from the first 2 seasons. I remember.
Like, you got to invest yourself because it gets wiggly. But listen, I would love to just, like,
no,
I want a Sportsmaster movie, bro.
He a beast, though. Sportsmaster a beast.
Hey, listen. But he's garbage.
Oh, yeah.
But he is a beast. But he's garbage.
He's a beast in Young Justice. Sportsmaster. And he was a beast in Stargirl. Live action joint.
But listen, But both of his daughters like that.
Facts.
Like that. Cheshire like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, act like there's a look. Give me a League of Shadows show.
Okay.
With, you know what I'm saying? With like Waller just kind of in the midst, in the background, talk, you know what I mean? Give me a little race. Al Ghul in the background with a little something.
Hey, Zay, you stop it. I always got time for the Pirates. That comes first and foremost. Always. Don't you ever get it twisted. All right? We ride to, we gang out here. We ride till we die.
I mean, I'm just saying. All that time for them Pirates.
I watched them Pirates in a minute. That's Thanksgiving weekend.
I hear you. Take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen. I like the idea of a complete recast because I would like for him to not even cast those characters again. I don't want Superman. I mean, like, maybe eventually. But like, just he could just be there. Like, just have other things happening, and then like you come across something that's like, oh, Superman did a thing over there, or something.
Like we've been saying, we don't need the Justice League like anytime soon going forward. If you wanted to be those core members, we don't need them. Let's get the B and C tier, D tiers, like kind of going here and build up. You have a plethora of characters to pull from that you can make into some very interesting shows and movies. Heck, the CW made Captain Cold cool on the Flash.
Which is impossible.
They did it though.
Listen. Impossible. There's nothing cool about Captain Cold.
But they did it.
It's a terrible it has to be said, but there's nothing cool about Captain Cold.
It isn't. But they found a way to pull it off. Yeah.
Or Captain Boomerang. Like, DC characters are so fluke.
They are. They're
so fluke. Their rogues galleries are so fluke.
Condiment King. Yes, that is a real one.
I'm gonna tell you what. Condiment King show up packing mail, I'm defeated.
So I give up. I'm done.
I surrender, dog.
You can have
got it. There, spray that. What you want? You want this wallet? You can have it.
It's all yours, bro. Just keep that mayonnaise away from me.
Oh man. They're terrible, bro. Their rogues galleries are pretty weak. You know what I mean? They just don't, you know. Captain Cold was a beast on Flash. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't allow it to go that far. You know what I mean? I couldn't get that far. Prison Break is important. It's an important part of the history of what happened. You think Plastic Man getting his due? He might. They got
maybe.
two.
They put him on freaking the Flash, so who knows? They might, but we'll see.
I mean, all right. I mean, it can happen. You know, again, look, they got a lot of characters. There's a lot of people that they could use. There's a lot that they could do if it's done the right way. And if they're very smart about the way they approach it and the way they write it, I think that if they are really smart, again, about not trying to bank on their biggest heroes, their trifecta, their gods, if you will, right away, then I think, you know, they get some. And I think part of that is also because, like it or not, in a lot of ways, the Justice League is so comparable to what the Avengers already are. And so it's just like you've seen it already. You've been there already. And there's been a ton of Batman movies already. So we've seen it already. We've been there already. We've done that already. So
Young Justice, like we've been saying, live action.
I mean, again,
let that be your core you're building around.
Even then, you still have to be really careful just because they're still just less powerful versions of the heroes we've already seen. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you still have to be really careful and thoughtful about the way you approach something like that. Where, like, if your focus is Cadmus, League of Shadows, characters like Cheshire and like Roy. Even if you have like, even though Roy is a Red Arrow, if you go a Red Arrow direction, but like you lean into that thing with Cheshire and like it's just there are stories there that can be told that are more important than the powers they have and the abilities that they have and where those abilities came from. So those things are the things, if you don't ground them and humanize them, then it won't matter. And so those are the things that are going to separate what makes a superhero film not just a superhero film, but that people can identify with it and that there's something more to it. So again, if you build out a show around the question,
that had potential.
I'm in.
Private
and then you add
show,
in Huntress, because Huntress is a love interest. And then you add in somebody new who's like, just every now and again, you hear a little something about Green Arrow, and then Black Canary is involved, and then you give me Wildcat. You know what I'm saying? And like you start to kind of build from those. Like if you build from like your D tier, C tier, Justice League Unlimited folks.
Yeah, get in that bag.
There's a lot that you can do around that, and it still could be tied to League of Shadows, Cadmus, the Light, right? And in those three things, you be good.
I'm all about.
You don't care about their personal lives. I disagree. I think you do care about their personal lives. I think you care a lot about their personal lives. That doesn't even make sense. How could you say such a thing? How could you say such a thing? You don't care that Pa Kent died in a tornado? I don't. You don't care. The thing that makes Superman worth anything is Clark Kent. And the duality of being this basically impervious individual who is also the nerdiest, geekiest, bumbling, some of it's fake, a lot of it's fake, most of it's fake, can't get a girlfriend guy hiding his actual identity from a Lois Lane. That's what make. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. What's your favorite thing about any of those characters? What their power is? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If you take away their family, what they're fighting for, the reason they're a good guy versus being a bad guy, there's nothing to them. What's the point? How can you like Steven Universe and the Crystal Gems if you don't care about the fact that they care about each other and what's going on with them? I don't believe you. That doesn't even make sense. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't know.
So do I.
We all hate Superman. We all hate Superman, but we hate, listen, but I don't hate Clark Kent. Spider-Man is dope because Spider-Man is Peter Parker or is Miles Morales, and they have this other life that they have to deal with and live. We identify because they got to pay rent. And like Clark Kent has to pay rent and write stories, or he don't have no job and he's fired. Like, so like they got away from all of that when it was like, oh, nah, Superman just lives on this space station, this tower that like nobody knows how they power it and whatever. Like when they get away from all of that, that's where you lose it. Wonder Woman is interesting because she's in love with Steve Trevor, and then she's out of time with him. Like those are the things that make those characters important and interesting, regardless of what their powers and abilities are. I hate Superman because as powerful as he is, nobody respects him. So like they don't respect him as Clark Kent and they don't respect him as Superman.
Nope.
And that's completely fluke. And when I say they don't respect him as Superman, I mean like if I was Superman and Metropolis was my city, nobody would rob a bank. Nobody would even think about robbing a bank. They be robbing banks and jewelry stores in Metropolis. Are you kidding me?
He shows up. They're not even scared. They just shoot at him, knowing that he can't get hurt. They don't care.
They know better, dog. Like they know better than that. They do it anyway. They don't respect Slim. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem with him. And the thing that makes him what they would really have to do to make him great / somebody who people care about is make him somebody that people can identify with. And that's going back to that. Like the original Superman films, they were great in their time. They're bad movies now. They were great in their time. And when I say they're bad movies, I mean like Superman can't fly around the earth backwards and like make and like make time go backwards. Like that's not a thing. You understand what I'm saying? Just, but whatever. But like you were introduced to Clark Kent and Clark Kent trying to get the girl in Lois Lane and whatever, and it's easy to pull for him, wanting it. But if he was just Superman all the time, then it's just like, yes, it'd be easy for Superman to just pull girls and get numbers. You know what I mean? Like that's, and you know, I like Hal Jordan. It's not necessarily about Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like Hal Jordan, I like his personality. I like, you know what I mean? But he has a story, and there's a whole thing with him and Star Sapphire.
It's the human side to everything else that makes the characters interesting.
Correct. That's what puts people in seats and keeps them, and that's what makes them watch the next movie when the next movie comes out. It's not because they want to see what happens to Iron Man next, right? It's because they want to see what happens to Tony Stark next. It's that. It's what people don't realize made the MCU so great is that very few people called Captain America Captain America. They called him Steve. They humanized him. They made him a person, right? He called the Black Widow Natasha. They don't use the name. He doesn't ever really get to say Avengers Assemble to the end. Like that's the kind of thing that happens. I don't care about Stage Travel, nor have I finished Steven Universe after the homework art. I don't do sappy for sappy's sake. It's not about that. Doesn't make it sappy. It doesn't make it sappy for sappy's sake. It makes it human. It just makes it something you can identify with, and that's what keeps people. That's what it is. Like people, if people didn't care about the people, then nobody cares what happens at the end of Infinity War when people just get dusted. Like when people they're like, no, this can't be. Like you don't care. What difference does it make? And they even do the same thing with like the villains, with like a Thanos who thinks he's doing the right thing. And it's like once he gets done, my man's like, I'm gonna just go be a farmer. You know what I'm saying? I'm minding my business. I'm just gonna go be a farmer. And they just show up and chop my man head off. All right. You know, like it's those things. It is the struggle between Gamora and her sister and how they feel about Thanos and that family triangle thing. That are the things that keep people invested, because that's the stuff that matters. If it's just like, oh, we only care that they have powers, and again, it doesn't matter who they are, it doesn't matter what their name is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Don't say something dry who your favorite characters are.
Yeah, like none of that means anything. So like, but again, to each their own. But for the majority of the viewing public, like that's the thing that makes people stay. It is the reality TV effect of what has really happened. If you're watching a show, you're watching because you become interested in the lives of these people. And that is the same thing that happens in any good show. And with reality TV, it's like, oh, well, these are real people. And for some reason, even though it doesn't really matter, we become invested in the lives of people who don't actually mean anything to us. But now we know their business, so now we have an opinion on it. And once you form an opinion on it, you're in. You know what I'm saying? About what they're doing, not about whether the show is good or not, but about what they're doing. So like, what makes Captain Cold? What is the difference between Captain Cold in the Flash and Captain Cold in every other iteration? Saying, why is he cool?
You're gonna hate this answer. Because he's cool. That's why.
I mean, I knew that's what you were gonna say.
The pun was there, but it was not intended. Like he's just an actual like cool dude, like a cool character in the show. He got style. He's got swag to him.
He has a personality.
Yes. Not like that corny crap
he has a personality
on the cartoons and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, or in the comic books, like he wasn't corny at all.
Which means you identify with him because there's something about the person. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. I don't know. There's a lot of drama in the green in Arrow.
Oh yeah,
I like the way the Captain Cole actor speaks. I'm
he
cool with
sells
that.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's that way in everything he does. But that also matters. I just said I like the fact that Gal Gadot speaks the way she does as Wonder Woman. I think that matters. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. Look, they're gonna do what they do. I don't, again, right now I don't have any faith, but I'm still very hopeful that they managed to pull it off. You know what I mean?
I'm looking forward
Very
to
hopeful.
a wiping of the slate, and let's just fresh start. Let's take it here and see where it goes. That's the biggest thing I'm excited for. We're done. Wipe the table clean. Let's pick a starting point. Let's just go forward and do it right this time.
Yeah,
that's all. Just doing it right.
100%. All right, so let's wrap the show up. Get the Beacons link up for everybody.
Beacons link.
Again, jump on the Beacons link. You'll have our link for Extra Life. We will be streaming games for 24 hours over the weekend of November 4th, 5th, and 6th. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I'm sorry. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And, a lot of the regular games, we have some new things that we're throwing in the mix, 8 hours each day at least, but probably going to throw in some extra hours over the course of those days, trying to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's for a good cause. Looking forward to having you all jump in, tune in, hang out, comment, and so forth during that time frame, and there'll be more information coming as that happens. Sin,
yes, sir.
Do your job.
So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
100%. Absolute facts. Sam, what's going on Thursday?
Thursday, yes, we are definitely back in the park this week, and we're going to keep up with what we've been doing. Everybody wants to keep going with Made in Abyss. So, season 2, Made in Abyss, we will be starting this Thursday, the first 3 episodes 1 through 3. Everybody's loving this thing, and it's just fun to watch everybody crumble the further we get into it. So, it's a fun watch, whether you've seen it before, you're watching it with everybody, or if you're checking it out for the first time. Yeah, so jump in, join us. It's going to be a good time.
Do you happen to know what's happening with wrestling stuff right now since Jokes isn't here?
Nothing major is happening like this weekend or upcoming. The next premium live event or pay-per-view is actually, I don't think he has realized it, it is Crown Jewel on November 4th during Extra Life. It is in the UK. It will be starting at 1 p.m. that day. So that's the big thing I know that's coming up next. So during Extra Life, there'll be Crown Jewel going on. So yeah.
All right. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. And also, same day, the 4th, the series finale of Attack on Titan airs. Yep.
That'll be interesting as well.
Yep. It's going to be a fun weekend with Extra Life. Fun weekend.
It's getting real. You can be up late. Late night's going to get real late.
Yes.
Late night's going to get real late. Okay. I'm going to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. Greatly appreciate your time and effort. Yep, exactly, Zayna. We'll be back next week. I don't know if I may have a guest next week.
Ooh.
We'll see. I'm working. I have a guest next week. But we shall see.
I hate you, Marcus.
I love you, Marcus.
Yes, the greatest thing right
now. Yeah. So that does it for this evening. Like I said, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I greatly appreciate, like I said, your time. Shout out to Jokes, who's supposed to be working hard right now, getting stuff edited. I'm saying, do you think that's what's happening? You think?
I know. I have 100% sure that he's working on it, but he's probably taking a break to go back between the Tuesday night war that's going on. That should be ending within the next couple minutes. So
take it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will leave you with this. you cannot increase your value to others by increasing their value to you. With that, we are out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.